Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. We're back with another episode of Paths We Took. It's the 21st of March 2021 when I'm recording this intro. It's for a podcast that was recorded 5 months ago. But I think it's time to get back on the horse, so here we are. This episode's gonna not be so consistent with what we've been doing. It's not so much under the flag of, careers and jobs. It's sort of just, to be honest, this was like post-COVID, and I just wanted to hang out with my friend Steve. So I was like, let's do a podcast. And we did do a podcast. But it was also sort of us hanging out. If you listen to the podcast, I think you'll sort of feel that almost Steve is the host. And that's because Steve definitely came with the idea to record a podcast, whereas I was half like, hey, let's do a podcast, and hey, let's catch up because I want to hang out with you. It's been a while. So who is Steve? Steve's a really cool guy. He's done a lot of things in life. We have, our paths have been parallel for different points in our lives. So I feel like even though Steve is a brother of one of my good friends, I feel like I also have my own sort of beautiful personal relationship with him. And this is just us sort of half hanging out, sort of half like hanging out with the idea that other people are going to listen to us. So I don't know. I don't think I was ready. Even though I was like, Steve, like definitely come. Like this is my podcast. I sort of run the show, but at the same time, I wasn't ready for this. So Steve is sort of running the show because he came for a podcast. What can I say? Steve, Steve says a lot of good things about me during the podcast, and maybe I was a bit silent because in my head I was like, I don't want to fight him on this, like, because I'm awesome, so I deserve all this praise. But at the same time, if I start swinging the praise back, it's gonna get awkward. He's gonna say, no, you're awesome. I'm gonna say, no, you're awesome. So you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna say it in the intro. Steve's fucking amazing. I'm a little bit in love with him. He's definitely one of the fucking most wonderful human beings I've ever met. And now what? You can't say shit, Steve, because you're not in the intro. I didn't invite you to do the intro. I invited you to do the podcast. So I have the last fucking laugh in this. I don't really know what to tell you, like, with regards to what this podcast is about. It's just me and Steve hanging out. He's a cool dude. He has a lot of cool things to say when it's not being interrupted by me. And if you just, like, if you even enjoy this podcast, like, it's just a little bit because of Steve, I would just encourage you to follow his podcast, because Steve actually has a really cool fucking science podcast with a friend of his. And if you're into science and you're not into taking up like huge chunks of your time to get like good scientific like knowledge from firsthand scientific papers, I would encourage you to follow his podcast. It's called Midnight Conversations. You can probably find that on a few apps. If not, go to the Instagram, which is Midnight Conversations Podcast, and I'll definitely put links in the description and all that jazz, and hopefully you guys can get it from there if you want. But yeah, it's they're very nice 20-minute condensed episodes which take you through scientific papers. They tell you what you need to know while also not telling you how to think, if that makes sense. It's a really good podcast. I encourage you to at least check it out if you enjoy listening to Steve's sexy voice on this podcast. And now to the main feature.
I don't think we're gonna have trouble with the zone, Michael.
I mean, I think. Okay, so the reason I wanted you to come at 5 is because, like, the longer I have time to myself, the more I start to like get nervous.
That's very normal. That's so normal. Even just on the drive here, I'm just sitting there thinking like, what is a conversation topic? What the fuck does a conversation topic mean? Like, and then I was like listening to some Joe Rogan. I fucking love that podcast so much. and like they're talking about all these like really interesting things, and I'm like, oh man, how do I integrate like baby dicks into my conversation with Michael? Like that's a fascinating topic. It's endless, man. It's endless. That's what I love about life in this world, man. Because it's just like literally like endless things to discuss. Our brain just goes inwards forever, man.
It does. How crazy is that?
That's interesting. What's going on in your brain right now?
I'm trying to like think of something to say for when you finish. It's not happening. Like, that's what's going on in my brain.
Interesting.
You know?
Yeah. So I'll just keep rambling.
Yeah, for sure.
No, fuck that. I want you to ask me some questions about it.
Alright. Well, actually, there was
skin.
literally one, the color of your skin. How do you find being such a different color?
Such a different color. It's good. I like it.
I was gonna say to your brother, and then people are like not aware that you guys are related.
Yeah.
And like, no. Yeah.
It depends who the listeners are.
Yeah. No, they're fine. I mean, what's my mom and like no one else. Whatever you feel comfortable saying in front of your mom.
I haven't seen your mum in a while.
Yeah.
Is she well?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's good.
Well.
I would want her to be well.
Jeez.
We go way back.
We do go way back.
Honestly.
How far back do we? What are you thinking?
Well, I was thinking about that on the way here. Like, holy shit, I think I've known Michael almost my whole life. Almost. Because you were friends with Costin from, what, like, kindy, right? Kindergarten, year 1. And so I sort of knew you from when I was, like, in preschool. I was, like, 4 or 5 years old.
I'm gonna go with that.
Yeah.
I mean, you weren't. I have no specific memories,
Yeah, of course.
but I feel like.
I didn't make a mark on you. I didn't leave an impression.
Well, fuck, I don't know, bro. Also, I was like, what, 5 years old? So, what do you remember when you were that age? You know,
Yeah, my memory.
I'm just saying, I don't have any definite proof, like objective proof. But it subjectively feels like I've known you forever.
Yeah, okay. I mean, you can just say that and no one's like
Yeah.
going to be able to verify it, right?
I know, but like, I would, would be going on with the conversation, and in my head, I'd be like, oh my god, Michael, you potentially lied. Like, it's just eating away at me.
Dude, that's so interesting. You think a lot, hey?
In a weird way. Like, it's funny because like Loda's like caught me a few times, like just being in like a weird space, and she'll be like, what are you thinking? And like, I'm always like, I used to say nothing, and then she used to like, she eventually caught on that I'm not thinking of nothing, and then like I had to eventually come forward with what I'm actually thinking, and it's always something completely fucking weird that's like, you shouldn't have asked me that. And then like, so like now when she's like, what are you thinking? I'll start telling her like something for like fucking retarded. Like,
yeah.
like I would, like, I don't know. Like what if a dinosaur just came out of like the wood and like started like trying to claw at me? Like would I be ready to like just dodge? Like something retarded.
Yeah.
And then she'll be like, oh, why do I ask? And she just, yeah.
I get it so much. I used to think that like people who were kind of silent or like pause in conversation is just like a sign that they're stupid or lacking intelligence. But then there was a point where I realized that it's actually a sign of intelligence. It's like a sign of like excessive brain activity.
I could be the most intelligent person ever.
Honestly. It's because you're thinking about the stuff that you're thinking about. It's just this like constant stream of thought where like, okay, you get a little bit distracted, but you're probably like thinking of something that's like more complex than, whatever the other people around you are thinking of. And you can't say what you're thinking because it's just going to seem ridiculous to them. So you just stop yourself and you're like, all right, fine, like they're not going to get it. So I'm just going to sit here until my brain comes back to something a little bit more superficial that they're going to like.
Definitely. And also if this was like 200 years ago, they might have like burnt me at the stake or something. So I think I've got that in my evolution, and it's like telling me to shut up. Like, don't say anything or they'll burn you at the stake. But, I wouldn't be a witch anymore. I'd just have like some I'd have something, like a condition, a medical word for it. There's a medical word for it now. They don't burn you at the stake. It's fine.
Cremate you. We spoke last time about like meditating. You started getting into it a little bit. Are you still doing it?
I'm not doing it.
No?
No.
How come?
I think it's because I'm finding it a lot easier to reap the benefits of it without doing it. I'm finding it a lot easier to be mindful, and sometimes I stop myself from writing my subconscious thoughts and feelings on a matter, and I can separate myself from them and analyze the situation in practice, if that makes sense.
It does make sense.
I don't have to set my brain at the start of the day, and also I just don't have a schedule that's it makes it easy to meditate every morning. So
interesting.
Yeah.
So you feel like you kind of got some benefits from meditation, and now those have sort of lasted. You figured out what you've taken the lesson.
Yeah.
And you just taken it forward.
Yeah. I've taken a lesson. There's been times where I've meditated because I was like, I should meditate now. It's very rarely, but I've just been like, Michael, you need to reset, just relax, and I can actually just do it in the middle of the day, which is weird because sometimes I would struggle to do it at the start of the day when everything's quiet.
I feel like we approach it very similarly now. I do the same thing. I only meditate at certain times if I feel like my brain is just trying to, register everything that's going on around me. I need to stop myself. If I have the purpose where I need to be focused, if I have a task where I need to be focused for that, I just stop myself and I'll meditate for 10, 15 minutes and then just come back to it.
Yeah.
But then I'm always reading and hearing stuff about guys that through meditation can literally control their own body temperature and are immune to pain and shit, and fuck, there are more levels to this shit. So am I missing out by just not doing this consistently? Should I be doing an hour every day? What? Fuck, what are the benefits? What am I missing out on? Do you think about that shit as well?
I think I would have, but I remember a story that you told me about you meditating. This was years ago, 5 years ago, and I haven't gotten anywhere near to the story of your experience, which was sort of an out of body thing.
Yeah.
And so there's definitely more levels, and I haven't even reached that one that you reached 5 years ago. So.
Yeah. Okay.
I do wonder, but I feel there's infinite.
Man, I haven't reached that spot in a long time.
Really?
I've been getting into the Wim Hof breathing stuff, which I fucking love that so much. I really do. It's where you've heard of Wim Hof, the guy that
I don't want to pretend that I know it. I just heard of it's a thing that you hear about but you don't know about.
Yeah. He's the guy that's sort of bringing this what do you call it? That it's just breathing, meditative breathing type stuff, the yogic breathing shit. He's trying to make that more public. He's trying to spread that message and make people aware of it. So his thing is kind of you breathe in 30 times quickly, and then you hold your breath, and you can hold your breath the more you do it, the longer you can hold your breath. And so I was holding my breath for 3 minutes at a time, and then at the end you sort of breathe in and hold it for another 15, 20 seconds, 10, 15, whatever. And then you get this crazy rush, and you just sort of I don't know, you just enter a whole new level of consciousness where you're sort of on the brink of unconsciousness. It's so interesting.
Yeah.
And at the end of those sessions that I do 15, 20 minutes of it, I just feel a whole different person. I just feel completely free of stress. I feel calm. I feel focused. It's great. I love it.
Yeah.
Gets me through stressful days, stressful evenings. Yeah.
I like that reset aspect that it gives you.
Yes, exactly.
If you're experiencing a spiral or something that's just going to get worse and worse, you can stop and reset. I like that.
Yes. Yeah. I feel my whole life has just sort of been geared towards managing my mental health. I think that's the same for everyone, honestly, whether it's conscious or subconscious. It's just managing the health of your brain.
It's a good way of putting it.
Yeah. You just transition through stages of life depending on you can do something, you're excited at first, and then you sort of wait till it feels shit, and then you go okay, fuck, I've been depressed for a week now, or I'm feeling shit, I'm feeling agitated, what's next for me? And that's sort of how I've ended up now, just fucking living in the suburbs.
Whoa, I feel like you just missed a lot of the story. You just went from chapter 1 to chapter 10.
Yeah. Well, it's a common storytelling technique.
Sorry, you meant to do that. My bad. Sorry.
I didn't mean to do
I'm
it.
very no, you didn't. This is a subconscious thing. Story is a subconscious thing, just like your mental health.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know. Do you have you followed the similar? Are you aware of this? Do you like? Are you conscious of when you're starting to feel agitated and you need to move on to the next phase of life, or?
Oh, I think I was,
Mm.
and now I've like transcended that, and
Ooh.
I'm just being more okay with where I am. Which it helps that I have like a bit of money like saved up for life, so I'm not really stressed. I don't have that anxiety, the need to analyze.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds like you're in the middle of a stage. It sounds like.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask you that question again in like 3 years. If
What's
you're
the
still
question?
here, like, are you conscious of when you're agitated?
Yeah.
I feel like in like 2-3 years time, if you're still doing the same stuff, I reckon you're gonna be like, "Ugh, it's not,
Oh,
it's
for
not
sure.
as fun or exciting. But you won't let that happen. You like,
Yeah.
yeah. You've experienced that before, and now you're like preparing for it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting.
Um,
Fuck. What's next for you then?
I don't know, but I'm not stressed out about it. And I used to always be stressed out about it, and I used to always be stressed out about, am I going to be willing to do the next thing? And now I sort of just have faith in myself.
I love that.
Yeah.
I'm jealous.
I'm trying to like figure out why. I don't really know why.
It's hard, man. I don't know if you can ever figure out why.
I think, I don't know, for me this year has been like a chance at like stabilizing myself, and I think because I was like so unstable for so long, and like I was trying to do like so much, I feel like the fact that I'm stable now just makes everything else easier, because it's like I was practicing on hard mode, and now it's just like I've got this like base level that's a lot easier, and now I'm okay with doing like so much more, and yeah, I don't really have that anxiety of, you know, I'm gonna set this goal and then I'm not gonna do it, and who knows if I can negotiate with myself and convince myself. But now it's like there's this part of me that's like it's inevitable.
That's interesting. So I mean, you've made your day-to-day life kind of easier by doing it hard, doing it rough for a long period of time. But do you feel like you've kind of gotten closer to your North Star or whatever it is that Michael Puppet is going to do with his life?
Just attitude-wise, just
Yeah.
mentally. That's it.
Mentally.
Yeah, not like I can't really grab anything and show it to you.
Yeah.
But mentally, yes.
You feel like you're better equipped mentally to achieve the things that you want to achieve. Fuck, that's important, hey.
I'm not like, yeah, I don't have that. The most black and white example I can give you is like I don't have like an anxiety about doing things anymore. I know that it's inevitable that I will eventually do it.
So you gain more courage.
If
That's everything. Give me some.
well, I sort of did acid one day. I definitely did acid one day.
Yeah.
And you know how when you're, I'm not saying it was cause of acid, but I think I realized it when I did it. You know when you're like, oh, I'm gonna do this thing, and everything else in your life like pulls you away from it. Like let's just say I want to write a book. Everything in your life pulls you away from it. I don't want to write a book.
Yes.
I don't want to deal with failure. I don't want to put the time aside. All this stuff. When I did the acid, I realized that like I'm actually like always propelling myself like forward in these things, and that's when I sort of I think I started looking at it like, yeah, I'm more and more, there's like a gravity to like between me and the thing that I want to do, and it's just like pulling me more and more closer, and it's sort of inevitable that I'll get to it, and that I'll get done when it can get done, and I just have faith in myself to do it when the time comes, and not worry about the potential of me slacking off.
That is amazing. That's amazing that you had that experience, because like a lot of people that do kind of like psychoactive drugs tend to feel the opposite. They're like, well, I've spent my whole life kind of with it in my mind that I'm going to achieve this thing, but like day to day, everything that I'm doing is like taking me in a different direction. I feel like a lot of people experience that.
Yeah.
and then they kind of start to doubt whether the thing that they like keep telling themselves that they want is the thing that they actually want, and then they like are forced to change directions. But you had the opposite experience. That's crazy. Your brain was just like, dude, Mikey, we're on the right track. Just write it out. So much confidence would come with that.
Yeah, I think it's like followed through. I still remember that because I remember just like feeling that like gravity.
Yeah.
And just fucking, I don't know, it was just like so at ease after that.
Mm. So what can you go into detail on your acid trip? Like, what did you do? What did you...
Okay, so I did it straight away. Like, I tried to do it straight away early in the day, I think like 9 a.m. Then I like did some work around the house, like hung up clothes, blah, blah, blah. Then I went to the gym straight away and was like doing boxing. And like, I realized like pretty...
Wow, hang on, you boxed on acid?
Yeah.
Shit, that's cool.
I realized like... What was I was talking to like people here and there that were talking to me, and I had this thing inside of me that was like, Michael, tell them that you don't want to talk, because they're gonna know that you. And
yeah.
Fuck, I don't know why. I just kept talking, and like I was talking more and more, and like I was just not being my usual dismissive self of like, you know, if they'd asked a question, I'd give an answer that was like the answer that I wanted to hear more, and not the usual sort of dismissive, I don't want to take up your time like thing, and that was a bit weird. I was very talkative, I think, and then I did some sparring, which I think was a bit stupid.
Sounds dumb.
I think it was dumb.
It's interesting though, right? Like how you're, I guess you're gaining more awareness of like how you're reacting to certain situations. In a sparring thing, there's like constant stimulus, so there's so much to analyze in that arena.
I don't really. I think I did worse than I would have done not on acid, and I don't really take anything like. I wasn't particularly enlightened with regards to that exercise.
Yeah. Did the person that you were sparring with know?
No.
No. Yeah. Okay. Interesting.
I didn't want to say like, hey, I'm on drugs, like. Let's do this anyway. I don't know. Like, I know that I can control myself, and I just controlled myself, and it was fine. What did I do after that? I came home. I don't know. I don't really fucking remember.
Yeah.
I called Mel actually, because she was talking about like conversations. I don't know. She said like when you're on acid, you're like very open to persuasion and like shifting your mentality, and like I just felt like so fucking like rigid that I was like, let me test this out. Let me like, because I know if I like call her, she's gonna start being like, oh Michael, it's cold. Do you feel cold? And she was like doing all that stuff, and like I just was like wasn't really affecting me. I sort of got a bit fixated on my knees because after I work out, my knees get like really hot, like they boil.
Yeah.
And yeah, she was like, are you cold? And I was like, no, because like when I touch my knees, like they're not hot, which means I'm not cold because my knees should be like extra hot, but I don't feel cold when I touch them, so I can't be that cold. You know, like I don't feel like they're burning, so I can't be that cold.
Yeah.
And like then I started writing like a book, and it's like pretty. Yeah. It's pretty well written.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really want to read this at some point. I was gonna ask, like, surely you must have sat down to like create something at some point.
I couldn't fucking stop myself. I was like, I'll do this after this sandwich and this other thing, and like I fucking like put the sandwich aside and stayed aside for the rest of the day, and I just fucking like I couldn't stop myself.
That's
awesome.
Know?
Like you might get pulled towards procrastination. I was pulled to like not procrastinate.
Yeah.
It was yeah. And that's
What's the general gist of the story though?
It's not a story. It's like actually like a sort of scientific breakdown on like boxing and trying to standardize it and put it in like an ABC sort of realm where it's not really an ABC sort of realm. Like let's go back to Joe Rogan. I was listening to like a podcast about this like jiu-jitsu genius was on it, and he had this like he didn't have a system, but he was like, this is the system of jiu-jitsu. Like this is like objectively the system, and you can't disagree, essentially. And I was like, wow, it's so weird because boxing, I can't see the system of boxing. Like, what is the system? I think the system for jiu-jitsu was like take them to the ground, like overcome their legs because their legs still have can generate torque. even if they're on the ground. So by taking them to the ground, they lose their ability to generate torque.
Yeah.
So like try to imagine like trying to throw something when you're on your knees. Like it's hard.
Yes.
Like a lot harder than standing. But your legs are still strong enough to generate torque from the ground, so you got to get past the legs. After that, you got to secure a position that's like beneficial to you, and then after that, you submit them. And like I just couldn't really see one with boxing, so like I started analyzing it and going like, just breaking shit apart. And then I started to go into it, and I don't know, I think that was like 1,000 words deep, and I was like, this is enough. I'm feeling tired, and then I put some Tune Better on and just listened to that.
So interesting. Dude, I've never even thought for a moment that there's like a system to a martial arts, like boxing. I feel like you need to get really good at that to understand. Like, I guess the system is like strategy, right?
But what's the consistent strategy? Like there has to be one.
Yes. But the strategy is like dependent on the goal. So the strategy comes to like a certain context where like you're fighting someone in every situation, I guess. And then you're fighting someone different every time. It's going to have like a different strategy.
But like what I said for jiu-jitsu applies to every jiu-jitsu match ever.
Right.
Do you know how like it was so simple
Yeah.
that you can't stray from it? Like no matter what you do, even if you want to take a different route to get there, like that route is more complicated than the simple breakdown that I've given you. And I was trying to like find that simple breakdown for boxing. And it was sort of a bit hard, but I just started breaking it down and simplifying it more. Like there's only 5 ways you can attack someone. There's certain things that you want to do when you're striking. Like you want them to face your center line, but you don't want to face their center line, because like essentially like if your center line is not facing me, then you can't strike me, because that would mean that your limb would have to go through your own body to strike me. Do you know what I mean?
Yes. Okay.
So,
I'm with you.
Like I was like sort of bringing up topics like that, but I couldn't really say you have to do this. Like this is gospel, this is objective.
Yeah.
So I just kept breaking shit down, and I didn't really get anywhere. But like, you know, it's not
interesting. That's really interesting. I feel like whenever you get good at something, or to get good at something, is to like understand the systems behind it. Whether it's like making a movie or like writing a book or something, like you need to understand how it's structured. Like when you're a kid, you watch a movie, you're not even like beginning to comprehend the amount of like strategy that went into actually like planning that movie, right? Do you actively kind of explore like different ways to plan writing a film or short film or stuff like that? Yeah.
Like so much so that like I've never written any.
Yeah.
It's a bit sad. But
yeah. Okay. I guess that's an issue. Hey, when you like fixate on the process. I'm the same with like songwriting. I fixate so much on like, okay, so the intro is gonna go like this, and then I can't really have a pre-chorus there. Can I have a pre-chorus there? Maybe. What have other people done? And then like an hour later, I've listened to 12 songs, but I haven't actually written anything of my own. So yeah, but yeah, system is everything. It's crazy. And like I guess mastering something is really like being like so aware of all of the different kinds of systems that go towards creating something, that you like create your own system, which is exciting.
Right, I'm gonna make you aware that I'm like moving to like see the fucking where the timer is. Motherfucker.
Is this stuff we're gonna cut?
No, I'm not gonna cut anything, but bro, fuck.
What?
It actually stopped.
It actually stopped?
Yeah, it actually
Oh
stopped.
shit. Did I bump the table or something?
Then again, that's right. There's actually a second recorder going, so it's fine. It's fine. There's just going to be a portion of it that's like not going to be as good quality. I just freaked out for a second, but it's totally fine.
Yeah, okay. Oh shit.
No, it's fine. It's like there's a second recorder. I'm prepared. Like this has happened before.
Yep.
So.
Alright, I'm gonna sit a little bit more rigid so I don't bump shit.
It's totally fine. I just wanted to press record again. So yeah.
Well done catching that.
Thank you.
So how big's your dick?
Sorry.
That's not where we're up to.
Not as big as a baby. It's not infinite. I thought of that one ages ago. I just was like, maybe I can use it later. No.
Not as big as a baby's. You had that one prepared.
You said it before. You were like, let's talk about babies' dicks. Like they are infinite, and I'm like, my dick is not infinite.
I didn't say baby's dicks are infinite.
What'd
I
you
said
say?
conversation, like topics to discuss are infinite.
Sorry, once you said baby's dick, boom, my mind was
You're
fixated.
fucking fixated on dicks, dude. That's concerning.
A little bit. It's alright, no one listens to this anyway.
How different do you reckon your life would be if you were on a sex offenders register? Sorry.
No.
That's a shit question.
No, it's a good question. I don't know. Like, is that thing where you have to like go to your neighbors and like knock on their door and tell them? Is that real? I don't.
I honestly don't know if we do that in Australia, but let's assume that you do have to do that.
Well, I'd be a bit more fucked financially, I guess. I don't think I'd be able to like I had to do a police, what's it called? A police fucking
Like,
background check on myself
cool.
for Loda's visa. So I don't think I'd be able to like sponsor someone to stay in the country.
That's a big deal.
Yeah. Probably would be a lot worse off working. So yeah, it'd really be really shit. Yeah.
Damn. Before we get more serious again, if I like challenged you to get yourself on a sex offenders register by the end of tomorrow, what would you do?
Well, I'd have to ask if like I could have your consent for certain things, and then of course I would tell you that you have to like tell other people that you didn't give your consent if you did give your consent, but otherwise I would just like not do it.
No,
Just not do the challenge. Only if you're consensual, but we can't let anyone else know that you were consensual. You would have to lie afterwards.
Dude, that was a very politician answer.
Was it?
Yeah, I felt like it was.
Wow.
You navigated that question well, not to incriminate yourself in any way. I'm proud of you, Michael.
In fact, I was incriminating you if anything does happen.
Yeah, exactly. What the fuck?
No, that's fucking politician.
You know, I wanted to be a politician when I was a kid.
No.
This is one of my earliest memories. Was like we had a school excursion to Canberra, and we were sitting in like the House of Representatives, and the tour guide asked, "Does anyone here want to be a politician?" And everyone in the class was just like, "Fuck no!" But little Steve puts his hand up. He's like, "I want to be a politician." I think about that all the time. Like,
Did you do it because you felt bad for that guy that no one raised their hands?
Do you know what? In part, I think that was it.
Yeah.
But then there must have been some other aspect of me that compelled me to do that. It couldn't have been purely just like out of pity for the tour guide, right? I honestly think some part of me was like, maybe I am cut out to be a politician. I'm one of the class captains or whatever. Like, maybe I am a leader. Why did I think that shit?
I don't know.
Dude, I had to wait.
How old were you, sorry?
It must have been year 5, so I was 11.
I don't know. I think where it's very easy. I think if he had said, who doesn't want to be a politician, it might have also been the exact same like demographics. I don't know. I feel like kids are just so like standard in their responses. Like, I don't know. Like they don't really. There's less filter between the answer and the question than an adult. So right now you're looking at your filter that you would have and you're like, that doesn't make sense. But the kid's like, I heard raised your hand, so maybe I'll just do that.
Oh, dude, don't say that. Just change my whole memory is so distorted, hey. I'm analysing my actions from then with my current brain. You're right, it's stupid.
Fuck,
I
man.
shouldn't do that.
Absolutely.
I shouldn't do that.
Well, a little bit. You should, a little bit.
A little bit. I mean, I think what I think is like I received too much praise as a kid for certain things.
So you like, I want to receive the most praise and become the politician.
Maybe. I had such high confidence that I was like, anyone can be a politician. I'll do it. Ridiculous. It's dumb.
Well,
Not smart enough.
Sort of true as well. I don't know. If you're not smart enough, then I don't know. Like, I don't know. I've seen like so many politicians that are like either shit at their job or like really good at being corrupt. I don't know. I feel like the doors are open for a lot of people.
You know, honestly, a lot of politicians are very, very intelligent.
Yeah.
They are, yeah.
And we think they're dumb because
it's a good mask for corruption.
Yes, exactly.
Like, it's like, why is he making that choice? That choice is really dumb. Like, like him and the other guy that's making money from it, they know each other. Gotcha.
Yeah. I feel like that happens at like council level. I don't know how much it happens at like the federal level.
What about the mining people? Like, I don't really know much about politics.
Me neither, to be honest.
No? Okay, fuck it.
I work in government. I should know more. Don't follow it, really.
Yeah, but you work in government.
Boring.
You don't like... you don't not work in government. You know what I mean? Like...
Yeah.
You actually work when you say you work in government.
It's true.
You don't... Yeah.
I work in the arms of government. I don't work, like... in the brain of it, and I don't care. It's like there's no my job is no different to like a corporation job, a company job, in terms of my connectedness to the actual like decisions that get made. I'm very far detached from it. But yeah, dude, I don't follow politics.
Yeah, it's quite like I don't know. There's like I don't know if you ever follow politics, but I think you get to a point where you're like, this is depressing, and why would I want to take that depression on?
Yeah. I do look. I mean, I analyze what I see in the news and shit. Like, I do read a little bit. I shouldn't say that. And like, I've read fairly extensively. I've done a law degree. I've thought a lot about stuff. My cousins are really engaged in it. There's like a constant email thread and stuff.
What?
Where, like
you guys are crazy.
Discuss.
Email thread. That's next level.
Yeah. No. I mean, it's good because we challenge each other on different viewpoints, and like it gets competitive at times. But like,
so you know heaps more than the average person.
We're all learning. I don't know if I know heaps more than the average person. But I probably think about it more than I let on. Yeah. I have thoughts about politics every so often. Maybe like 6 thoughts per day about politics.
That's quite a bit.
It's quite a bit, isn't it? It's probably too many.
What's the latest? Let me know your thoughts.
The latest is probably all to do with like the American election. Have you been following that at all?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. I know that Biden won. And that's about it.
But did he?
I don't know.
That's the whole thing, man. We don't know.
I don't know.
No, it's scary because if there is any like truth to the claims from the Republican Party that like the election is rigged, and it seems like they have found some stuff which is like, you know, it shows a decent level of plausibility that the election was rigged.
Yeah.
Then the whole like foundation of democracy is undermined in America.
Yeah.
And then all that work from our Greek ancestors is fucking perished.
It is.
That's devastating. But yeah, I mean that's I guess that's where my thoughts are on politics now.
Go on.
Oh no, like my main interest is more like the philosophical aspects of it. So like when I look into it and I think like, why do people do this shit? Like it's just so interesting.
Yeah.
Like why do people think like that? Why are we so caught up on this shit? Like what does Black Lives Matter actually mean? Like, why are people upset? What's going on in the psyche of people, generally speaking? I think about that more than I think, like, what are the decisions being made? And who's making them? I care less about that. Do you think about shit like... do you follow, like, the Black Lives Matter thing is a rich kind of topic, psychologically, philosophically. Are you taking interest in it?
Just a little bit.
A little bit. Are you gonna make any bold statements on Black Lives Matter? Do you have any really strong opinions?
Honestly, dude, I don't really have strong opinions
on anything.
I swear, and really,
I love
I'm just such like I'm black. I'm a blank canvas. Like I know you said black canvas, but that's because
that would have been sick. Do it again. Retake.
we'll edit that.
I mean, a blank canvas could be black.
Could.
Yeah.
That's right.
Why do we assume
I'm
it's
being
white?
racist.
Oh, fuck.
Never mind, we'll leave it in now because that joke is worth it.
Does that worry you?
What?
The fact that you don't form strong opinions on stuff? No?
I'm not gonna. I wouldn't know.
But do you see it as like a virtue, a strength of yours?
Yeah,
that you're like indecisive? Like,
I'm not. I don't know.
No, it's not indecisive, but it's like... okay, this is the way that I think that you think. Because I feel like it's similar to the way that I think. Where it's like, all right, like, everything is an illusion. We're going to die. Like, everything that we perceive to be real is literally just a narrative that was constructed by something around us. So why the fuck have strong opinions?
Boom.
Yeah, cool.
let me go back to what you were saying before, and use it as an example, like Trump versus Biden election. Potentially, some things were happening that made it like rigged.
Yeah.
Okay, like I don't know. How do we know? Like, how are we ever gonna know?
We're never.
Like, even if they say, yeah, guaranteeing 100% it was rigged, but how do we know? Like, me and you.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I can just say whatever I want now. Like, no one's gonna listen to me. But maybe if I was like this news company that was well established, someone would listen to me. But I don't know. Where's the evidence? Like, I don't.
But this is where it gets interesting for me, because now it's we're basically watching other people construct reality.
Yeah.
That's why I've taken interest in this, right? Because Donald Trump can say some shit and it literally creates a reality for a lot of people.
Yeah.
People who, for some fucking reason, love the guy so much that they will listen to anything he says, and immediately, boom, it's in their mind that that's true.
Yeah.
How scary is that? How scary is that some people can literally listen to one person that they admire for a number of fucking reasons, who knows what it is, and then just take whatever that person says as being like the grand narrative.
Yeah.
Like, that person is the decider of my reality. Holy fuck.
It's a little bit scary, but it's also like that person is also letting you like prejudge them efficiently, like more or less.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? It's like they're also saying like, this is who I am in like a very black and white way, and it's very easy for me to be like, oh, that's okay. Like, I don't really have to pay attention now. It's like, I don't know. For me, it's just like a time efficiency thing. Like, when someone has like a really strong opinion about something that I don't think they should have, then it's just, for me, it's just like, oh, great, I can just switch off. Like, mental energy dedicating to this, like, minimal. Like, so I don't know. I just look at the bright side of stuff like that.
Hang on, let me make sure I understand what you're saying. You're saying like you will hear a person present a strong opinion, and then you can use that to like assume everything else about that person.
100%.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
What if that person just has like one fucked up opinion, but then the rest of what they think is like really normal and not really normal? Like,
I don't know. Like, it's not. I don't know. If you've taken your opinion to a place where like your like philosophy for life is not in line with, I don't want to say my own, but with like a rational person's, then I don't know. That's like also an advantage.
But what's rationality? Like hardcore Trump supporters think that they're being rational. They think that all these other people who have bought into Biden winning the election legitimately, they're the irrational people that aren't analyzing facts. So.
See, this is why I don't want to like form an opinion, because for all I know, like, I don't know, let's say like Biden is like, I don't know, he's like the Terminator coming back from the future. Like, I don't know, what the fuck do I know?
Yeah.
For all I know, America doesn't even exist. I've never been to America.
Yeah.
For all I know, do you know what I mean? For all I know, we are in North Korea right now.
I know what
you know what I mean? I don't fucking know.
Yeah,
like,
true.
for all I know, North Korea could be like the best fucking place in the world, and like all the propaganda against it is like, you know, all the shit against it is like propaganda that gets fed to us. Like, how the fuck do I know? I don't know. What do I know? Like,
I could literally be like bacteria inside you playing the bongos on your spinal cord.
100%.
Like, who knows, right? But what I've been feeling recently, and by recently I mean over the past like 6-7 years, is like, if I don't form opinions on stuff, no one's going to challenge me, and if no one's challenging me, then I'm not learning. That's my fear, because I'm like chronic at just like not forming opinions. I'm like, oh, fuck reality, man. Like, reality's what you make it, right?
yeah,
But if I don't go out and say something that's potentially wrong, I'm not going to hear counter arguments. I feel like I'm limiting my view of the world by not creating opinions.
okay, but like, I don't know, like what portion of your time are you ready to receive that?
Good question.
That positive thing that you just said. Like, when are you ready to receive? Are you ready to receive all the time? In which case, if you are, then okay, you can have an opinion all the time about everything, and it's going to be to your benefit. But for me, it's like very minimal that it's like a positive thing. Yeah. Like, if I'm having a conversation with Loda and we get crazy, and like we get really deep, like to the point that if someone's listening, like they could think that, I don't know, like for example, like they could think I'm a racist.
Yeah.
Like if they're listening, like in one snippet of it.
Yeah.
But it's this thing that's like so deep. That's like, and we get to this point where we can both see each other's view, and like it's almost like one person has this like short term positive thing, and the other person has this long term positive thing, and it's like we're both arguing the same thing, but it's like, you know, for example, like she might have this thing of like, this is a good thing to do right now, and I'll be like, okay, but by doing that, you're like shooting the long term thing that would be good in the foot. What was that noise?
I don't
know.
Yeah, I heard that noise as well. Dude, house is getting broken into.
That's fine.
Best podcast episode ever.
Yeah.
We both die on air.
I don't. I thought I heard
let's
footsteps.
investigate.
Is that
Let's
weird?
investigate.
Let's investigate. This is gonna. Yeah, this is cool. This is cool. This is part of the podcast. I don't have any weapons or stuff, but I don't know. Just investigate with our eyes. All right, people, just fast forward unless we're dead. In which case, don't fast forward. Oh, okay. What was it? I think it's like someone climbing into the bathroom. There's this window slamming itself. Oh, okay. Do you want some water?
I'm okay for now, actually.
I'll get some water.
Oh, yeah, thank you.
My friend's getting it.
Oh, monologue. Oh, monologue. All right. So to all concerned listeners, Michael and I are okay. It was worth us investigating because obviously we were getting broken into, but fortunately Michael is a trained boxer, trained on acid, so he trained in almost what some would consider like a gravity chamber type situation. And he was prepared, and the intruder has been vanquished, so thank you, Michael, for your efforts.
Thank you, Steve, for having me. For having me be part of your life. Just,
Dude, I
and
love
for doing
you, man.
that. Dude, I love you.
I will have some water. I said I won't, but I changed my mind because reality is what I make of it. So
Absolutely.
fuck it, I can change my mind.
As soon as I got up, I was like, I got to really pee. So I was like,
Oh man, go
when
pee.
I get to that, I'm gonna need to.
Dude, take a whiz.
Yeah, all right.
Take a
You
whiz.
take
Dude,
take
enjoy
it away, Steve. Thank you.
Yeah, man,
Thank
I've got things to say. Don't worry.
Listen to this part when I listen to the. I don't know. After we're done.
Please, I could just make like a buzzing sound for this whole time just to annoy you. Look, to all the listeners of Michael's podcast, and I hope there's a few, and I hope that audience is growing every day, every week as well, because Michael is hands down one of the most inspiring people that I know. He's incredibly intelligent. He's incredibly hardworking, motivated, driven. Honestly, he's not in the room, so I'm not blowing smoke, except he will listen to this later, and I'm aware of that, so in a way I am blowing smoke. But truly, well-raised, he's maintained himself well into his adult years, and I really think he's going to do some incredibly impressive stuff throughout the rest of his life. So, support him now while he's still putting the building blocks together. In creating whatever it is that he's going to create, and don't be too surprised when he does it. Just be proud of yourself for supporting him along the way. He's one of the few people I know that has sort of like stuck to creative arts, trying to produce something from his mind, like trying to synthesize something through film, through writing stories, and that's to be admired for sure. Because a lot of people that I know, including myself, sort of like gave up on that. They got to a point in their life where, oh, he's back. Hey, man.
Hey, sorry, what? Let's keep going. Why did you let me stop that?
They sort of get to a point in their life where they just feel like there's more to be valued than like artistic creation, and they change focus a little bit. Whereas Michael has stayed true to the cause of creating things from his mind, and I really, really respect that.
Thanks,
So
man.
that's it.
It's like when gamblers are like in too deep and they just keep going and going. I feel like that's where I'm at with whatever you're talking about. It's like I might as well just keep going. That's where I'm at.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you don't want out, do you?
No, because I've lost too much money. You know, I've got to get it back. You know what I'm saying? I'm totally going to get it back eventually, right? That's how gambling works.
Yeah, that's it.
So,
It's what they say. Burn your boats, burn your bridges. Force yourself to make it with whatever you got.
anyway, like I said before, it's like an inevitable thing. If I just keep doing it, then it's inevitable. So
That's true. The acid showed you the road.
It
Showed you
did,
the
it
path.
did.
It lit it up for you.
it did.
The path was already there. It just illuminated it.
Yeah, I just was still a bit unsure. Then I saw the path. That was there already.
It's crazy. Our brains are doing so much more than we think. Did you find that with your acid trip? Were you just
No.
like, holy fuck, my brain is... No.
I didn't go deep enough. No, I was just like I was very in my own head.
I found that like just through meditation, I've realized like there is just so much that is going on. And people who don't meditate or haven't done acid are not going to understand what the fuck I'm talking about because like shit, it's just like most of your thoughts are like just this tiny fucking little bit of your brain. And there's just so much more going on, like assessing and like every interaction that you have, like totally like absorbing your environment without your like awareness. Man, our brains are incredible.
You know what? I get that. I realize that I get that when I am doing something, maybe monotonous is a good word for it, and I'm not listening to music or a podcast or trying to occupy my mind with some other stimulus, and I just let my mind wander.
Yeah.
I realize that I go to those places.
Yeah. I reckon where it's going to become most apparent to you is like when you have these podcasts, start like thinking about the way that your body is like physically responding to whoever else is in the room. Do you know what I mean? Like that's going to change based on like how like intimate you've been with that person, not physically, like emotionally intimate with that person, like throughout your life.
But we've been physically intimate, just to
Yes, we have.
just FYI,
Very physically intimate.
Mom, if you're listening.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like certain people, like you just respond, like you have this feeling like, okay, we're actually connected.
Yeah.
We're literally resonating on like the same wavelength. It's incredible. Whereas others, you just feel like you're in conflict with. And a lot of the time you sort of like, you might be like partially aware of it, but like through meditation, you can sort of like understand, you'll gain a better understanding of like what the background thoughts are that are creating those feelings. So interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you feel like we're resonating on the same wavelength?
Always.
Yeah, I feel like we are.
Each and every time I see you.
We think in a very similar way. It's so interesting.
There's definitely something there. Like, I don't know. Sometimes I can't even like really explain it. It's just like Steve just gets me, and I just leave it at that.
It's interesting. I genuinely do not feel that with a lot of people.
I mean, either.
I feel like you get me. I feel like you understand the way my brain works. I feel like you're interested in the way my brain works because you understand it more.
I don't even know. Maybe it's just because like I like your values. Yeah.
My values have changed.
Then I'm just like more willing to engage and to open myself up.
Yeah. But do you agree with like the paths that I've taken? Oh, do you see how I integrated? See how I integrated that?
I do see how you've integrated that in our midnight conversation.
So I do another podcast. We're on pause. This is literally the first announcement of that.
Amazing.
We're just on hiatus at the moment until next year, being like January 1st. Or we'll do it in the first couple of weeks of January.
And for reference, your podcast is called Midnight Conversation.
Yes, Midnight Conversations.
It's with an S at the end.
Yes, with an S, yeah.
Where can we find your podcast, Steve?
You can find it on like Spotify, on SoundCloud, iTunes, like Podcast Addict and stuff, like all the major podcasts.
I can definitely find it on Pocket Casts, which is very...
Pocket Cast?
Yeah.
Never even heard of that.
Boom. That's where I listen to my podcast. And
wow.
When I saw yours on there, I was like, fuck yeah. This is so convenient now because the way that you can like save episodes and like skip, like without. You can like skip 30 seconds ahead. I don't know if you can do that with other ones. You probably can. Yeah. Now that I think about it, but like, I don't know. I just love the whole interface and like the way that you save and like store the order in which you want to listen to shit and like you filter.
Wow.
So
Podcast.
once I saw that, I was like, Steve's legit with this podcast.
So we just upload everything to SoundCloud, and then the other apps must like take it.
But one of you or is it Anash?
No, Anadin.
Anadin. Okay. One of you must have connected it to Pocket Casts. Maybe it was Anadin.
I don't know. Yeah, maybe it was him. I didn't do anything. I didn't do any of the admin. I pretend I do, and Anadin like rolls his eyes at me every time. I have a great relationship with him. I love him.
Why is
I
that?
do. He's a great guy. He's so intelligent. He's so compassionate. Such a fantastic guy. He's he's just really busy at the moment, going through some massive life changes, and so I'm gonna put things on hold for a little while. And I'm joining forces with Michael. Your
Let's do
podcast.
it. Let's fucking do it.
Thanks for having me. I've been feeling rusty on the podcast.
Dude. No, me too. But also when I listen to you guys, I'm like, oh shit. Like my brain to making sound computing power is not there yet because I feel like you guys get a lot done and said in like 20 minutes.
Oh, dude, I am so bad at it. Every time I do a podcast with Anadin, I sit back at the end of it. I'm like, shit, I cannot string a sentence together. I cannot like construct a thought anymore. I think it's harder because we're talking about stuff where he's the expert and I'm the layman. So I don't like. I need to like ask questions about stuff that I've never even thought about. I didn't know existed until like 20 minutes, before the podcast when I read the paper.
Yeah.
Dude, constructing thoughts is hard. It's like synthesizing it into words. It's not as easy as people think at times.
That's right.
Some people do it naturally, I suppose. Like more naturally than others.
Sort of like having an opinion. When you do it, you get challenged but you get better and better. I think. I don't know. Like I'm like right now I am doing a lot better than I did in my first podcast. So.
He seems so relaxed. He seems so chill.
That's just you.
I can just...
Like, I haven't seen you for ages, and... I don't know. Like, sort of like a catch-up for me to see you, and...
It has been a while. It's been a very long time. Shouldn't be this long.
Shouldn't, but understandably, life. Especially this year.
Interesting year, huh?
It has been interesting.
What's been your favourite part of it so far?
Favorite part? I don't know. I think just my mental sort of... I don't know what the word is. Like, resilience or... No, not resilience. Fortitude. Yeah, but I feel like it's gotten better. So it's not... I don't want to just say like I'm resisting like other forces. Like mental growth, maybe? Mental growth. Yeah.
Mental growth.
Yeah. Spiritual growth, maybe. As well.
Spiritual growth. You feel more connected to something or less connected to something? What is spiritual growth? How do you...
I don't know. Like, I just feel like mental growth is like you can almost touch it, and like I'm trying to say it in a way that's like you can't touch it. Like, you can't... It's not going to be so easy to grasp. Like,
hang on. Is your mental growth anything more than just a belief or in a strong opinion that you have grown?
I mean, my mental growth itself, or the opinion that I have grown mentally?
But no, I'm saying like if there is no tangible mental growth, like if you can't test that, then is your mental growth anything more than just a belief that you've grown mentally?
Yeah, I agree.
You agree that it's not more than a belief that you've
grown mentally? I agree with what you said. Like, yeah, it's just a belief.
It is just a belief, yeah, okay.
Just like I believe that you're sitting across from me right now and we're not in the Matrix.
Yeah, okay.
And like, when I touch this table and it's like smooth, I believe it's smooth, but my brain is telling me that it's smooth. So I don't know. Like, is it smooth objectively?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
I don't know. Maybe
it feels pretty smooth to me.
Yeah, I think like the color, that thing, that thing where I don't know. It's like a thought experiment where it's like every color that we see, when another person looks at it, they're not seeing that color, but they still describe that color as, like, you know, if you look at the corkboard there, it's brown, but my brown is different to your brown, but we'll never know, like, if our browns are the same. Do you know what I mean? Like, if we're seeing the exact same thing, we'll never know. Like, it's impossible.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
What was that? Like, it went viral. It was like this YouTube thing where they would play a sound and some people heard like one name. It was like something in Laurel, Sammy and Laurel or some shit. Do you remember this?
No, I never looked at it.
It's so interesting. Like how people can hear what's like on paper, on the recording, exact same sound, and people interpret it differently. It's weird. We literally all have our own worlds. We all have our own...
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, existence. And then, like, I wait for someone else to tell me something similar to what I'm thinking. And then, like, that becomes my reality. I'm like, okay, 3 people have confirmed for me that this is a table.
Yeah.
It is a table. And then it'll be confirmed for me 100 more times throughout my week or whatever. Yeah.
And then Michael will come and be like, that's not a fucking table,
not a
Steve.
fucking
Fight the
table."
power. They're trying to brainwash you.
This is why, like, parenting scares the fuck out of me.
Yeah.
Because I could... I could shape that kid's mind in so many different ways. It's exciting, isn't it?
It is a little bit exciting. Can I like share something that I've like realized, maybe in the last year, like I've had the like mental awareness. I've just been aware of it.
Yeah.
Like a lot of parents like parent their children to make their life more convenient.
Yes. Yes. Ah, yes. I think it's unavoidable. I think every parent will do that.
Is it? I mean, man, I've been seeing it lately, and I'm just like, oh man, like, is that so necessary? Like all the time. I don't know. Like I saw there was this one parent and this kid, this like child, that were walking, and the child stopped to like touch the ground, and the parent was like, "What are you doing?" Like the parent just like freaked out, and the ground didn't have feces on it or anything. It just like was the ground, and it was like, "What are you?" This kid just had this like curiosity to like fucking stop what they're doing, touch the ground, and you've like hammered it into them that that's a bad thing and you need to fall in line. And it's like, I don't know, like why couldn't that person just wait 1 minute to just see what their kid was thinking or doing? I don't know, what are they taking away from that kid by having that reaction?
Dude, I mean, I'm fully with you and I fully understand it. I'm not a parent, but I recently got a dog. And it's so interesting because everything you read is like, dude, let the puppy be like curious, like let it go and explore. The amount of times I've been like, fuck's sake, like get out of the fountain. You're just going to be wet.
Yeah.
Like, let me just dry you off. Or like, dude, stop playing with that sock. Stop chewing on that. Stop doing this. It's 100% just for me.
Yeah.
Right? I don't want the dog to like chew the carpet because like I got to buy a new carpet. It's literally all about me.
Yeah.
So I think at the end of the day, it is unavoidable. Like you need to teach this creature like how to coexist with you. Otherwise, it's not going to work. And the same thing is going to apply with a child, right? You need to teach this child like how to be part of your family, how to live with you. Otherwise, that kid is just gonna is gonna feel like separate from the family. They're gonna not feel any like sense of authority from you. I feel like in a sense it's important. Yes, let the kid play, but at certain times, like structure it off. Say like, okay, hang on, if you want to fuck around, if you want to learn, like play in the mud for the next 3 hours. But when we're shopping, we're shopping. I don't think that's necessarily a problem. You disagree, I can see.
I don't know, man.
You're like, dude,
do.
let the kid touch the ground. He's learning. If he gets sick, he's learned.
Like, I don't know. I just think like, what's the kid so interested in the ground for? And is the kid going to move on if you just leave it? Like, is it going to move on in an adequate amount of time that like your day's not ruined? I don't know. I think it's because I saw the reaction and the mum was like so like, it was almost like the kid was like going to go touch a spider or going to go touch dog shit or something. It was like, that was his sort of reaction level. And I was like, dude, like, I don't know. I feel like you are, you're taking something away from the kid right now But I don't know. Like I said, I'm not a parent either. But that's the shit that scares me the most. It's like, is there gonna come a time where, like, I'm really busy and I haven't slept, and like I make the kid fall in line, and like then they learn to be like my, like, like my subordinate, and they gotta listen to me, and then like they're like 18 or 20, and like now they're having trouble like following their own sort of path and metaphorically touching the ground because I've like deemed it that they need to listen to me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, ultimately, any person's going to start to make their own decisions at some point. But I think a balance probably needs to be struck, with parenting, like when the child is very young, just so that they feel like there's some structure to their life. I don't know. I feel like I've never read a book on parenting. Like there's probably a million of them out there, like telling you how to like make that, like find that balance. But I mean, yeah, like personally, if a kid's touching the ground, then I don't want him to be touching the ground because I feel like I'm gonna be encouraging like the kid touching other handrails and all sorts of stuff, especially in COVID times. I think I might just be like, dude, just walk with me. We're gonna buy some Doritos and we're gonna leave. Like, quick shout out to Doritos.
Killer of child dreams. Killer of Steve's child's dreams.
I don't know. Do you feel like if/when you become a parent, are you going to replicate most of what your parents, the way they parented you, or are you going to like sit down and try to figure out everything they did, everything you liked about it, everything you didn't like, and then try to change it up? And
I don't think I'm not gonna analyze it that much. I definitely know, like, no, it's not gonna be that similar at all. Purely because I feel like I have evolved more and like forwarded the DNA or the genes or whatever. I don't know. Like I've improved.
Yeah.
So I should do my own thing.
I mean,
Or a combined thing of me and my partner. So yeah, I feel like that has to be greater than the sum of our parents.
yeah, totally. I mean, we've grown up in a very different time and place to our parents.
Yeah.
They
Absolutely.
your parents were born in Greece?
My dad was born in Cyprus.
Cyprus, yeah.
And also, like, they didn't have the internet growing up as well, which is fucking huge.
Fuck the internet. That's what scares me most. I mean,
Definitely.
Having kids that are gonna grow up in the next, 100 years, terrifying to me.
Absolutely.
Hearing all the shit like Elon Musk is doing now, I don't know if I'm just like getting increasingly pessimistic with age, but it's scary seeing like young girls on Instagram and their obsession with their phones. Not just girls, boys as well. And people in between. Like,
that shit came right, for me at least. Maybe for you it was like a bit, obviously it was a bit earlier for you, but I feel like for me it came right at the point where it was like I learned how to operate without that stuff.
Yes. Yeah.
Like,
we were the last ones.
yeah, exactly.
We're the last ones to not have social media.
Yeah. Even though we sort of have it, but
Yeah.
I feel I can take a step away from it very easily.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I didn't have like Facebook until I must have been like 17 or something. Still, yeah, I mean, still in that age bracket where you're very susceptible to that stuff. But
infinitely better than like you're barely educated and you're like, I don't know, you're like your age is not even double digits and you're like, I don't know, you're just looking at the screen for stimulus.
Man, 13-year-olds should not be on like Instagram and TikTok and stuff.
Yeah.
Have you seen it? It's literally just like girls showing off their bodies. Or like, I don't know, like couples like showing off their relationship and stuff. Yeah. Or like guys like playing pranks on their mates and shit. Like, there's so little on those platforms that's actually healthy for the mind of a child.
But healthy for the mind of anyone. Like,
anyone, yeah, exactly.
Like, I don't know how that stuff helps you. Like, how does that help you?
Honestly, it doesn't. All it does is like distract you. It creates like short-term dopamine responses while they collect information about you so that they can like suggest the next video to make you more engaged. And that's scary. All they're doing is like paying to fucking keep you engaged so that they can advertise shit to you. It's so scary.
Sorry, go on.
Just our attention can be put towards so many incredible things.
Yeah.
When you think about it, when you think of shit like the pyramids, when you think of shit like car batteries, like all the incredible stuff that's been made just through like concerted application of human beings' attention, and then to see where so many people are now putting their attention that's not into something constructive like a fucking battery or a TV or a laptop or something. Like, just build me a box so I can put something in it. Like, that's a great use of your attention. Rather than watching 40 videos, you create nothing.
Yeah.
All you do is feel sad at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah. I think you really got to ask yourself what you're getting out of those, I don't know, that time that you put into social media.
Yep. Yep. We have limited awareness. We have limited attention.
Yeah. Yeah. We have a limited, like, fucking energy to give away in that form.
I mean, like, just imagine like it's like a video game, and you have like a health bar, but that bar is your attention.
Yeah.
Like just envision that bar like going down each time you're watching like an Instagram video or something.
Definitely.
You're like, holy shit! Why did I just spend 3 hours like scrolling bullshit?
I used to spend like half an hour on Facebook every morning before I got out of bed.
Yeah,
and
same.
I used to like, what the fuck? I just realized like I'm throwing away half an hour every day, and like I can't even remember anything from like I can't remember anything from doing that. Like any fucking, it's not like when we went for a walk, like on your brother's birthday.
Yep.
Like I remember that. That's like a clear thing.
Yes.
I totally remember things, but like the fucking, what's it called? Like the wall. We scroll. Like the scroll. I don't remember anything. The feed. I remember nothing from the feed.
Yes. We're hearing clanging again.
If we die, we die.
It's not another intruder. Okay, good. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. There's nothing really to be gained from it. At all. Unless you're like analyzing the way that people think and behave on social media. I've done that.
Oh, yeah.
I find that interesting at times. I love reading comment sections of like political posts. Because you get an idea of what the current like social paradigms are. I think that's really interesting. Like, how are people thinking about like gender issues? And you're like, what the fuck? Like, how is that the thought?
You know what?
Like,
can we go back to like me making opinions? I think now that you've like said that, I've realized like I do the same. Like I read the comments.
Yeah.
But I don't really go into whatever the information is, because I realize, how do I know that that's the information? Like, how do I, like, people are basing their opinion on the information that they've been given, but how do I know that that information is correct? Especially when there's like anything constitutes a story these days.
Yes.
Like, so that's why I've distanced myself from trying to stay in the loop with things, because I don't know, I don't really feel like I am in the loop even when I try to stay in the loop. And like now I'm getting like all worked up about anything that's like, I don't know, that I can't even see or touch. And what's the point? How does that serve me?
Okay, I think like you have values, right?
Yeah.
And you hold to those values because you believe they're better than other values.
Yeah.
That's otherwise you would have other values, right?
Definitely.
Now you're going to be producing like films and
Totally.
movies and stuff. Like at some point you're going to be sharing your values.
Totally.
In a sense, you're like trying to, I mean, you're not actively trying to, but you will be like persuading people to see the world through your lens.
Definitely.
So I guess like you do have opinions about things, I think.
Definitely.
Yeah. And there's no harm in engaging. There's no harm in like actually saying like, these are my opinions. They're actually better than yours. This is why. Because you can be teaching people to make their life better.
Can you?
Yes.
Who am I teaching?
Can.
Who can I teach?
I don't know.
Maybe with this podcast I can teach, but what's like a normal person's life situation where they can teach in that situation?
Sure. Okay. So, I mean, people do this every day. I'm going to use an example from like Kevin Hart, for instance, or like Michael Jordan, guys that were like raised to believe that education is the thing to be valued most.
Yeah.
Drive like to be like the best at a craft, right? Taking those values to like the ghettos of America and saying like, hey guys, you've been taught that like you're unloved and like, you know, your value is like to feel part of a group or like a gang or something, and you can then like make money and rise through the ranks through that group. You're pretty much going to end up like selling drugs on the street, right? But they're saying like, you can change your values, you can go and get a job, you can get an education, you can like create something stable for yourself where you're going to like, in the end, have more liberty. Like, you're going to have a lot more opportunities present to you. You're going to like feel love through these different avenues.
Yeah.
So if you have values that you believe are, you know, better than others, I don't think there's any harm in just keeping them to yourself.
Keeping them to myself?
Like, not expressing the opinions that are like genuinely within you.
There's no harm in not expressing my...
I think what I'm saying is you do have opinions.
Yeah.
And I think like we all have opinions. I think we should not be afraid to express those.
It's not that I'm necessarily afraid. Like, I'll explain my opinions to you. I gave you an example before when I was talking to Lauda, and it would have been like very easy to see what I was saying is like racist almost. But because Lauda is actually listening to me and giving me that respect, like, she's gonna actually understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Whereas, and I feel like here's where it comes in. It's like, if someone's not willing to listen, then and engage properly, then there's almost no point. Like, I don't know, today, like this, I think this bikie and this trucker like nearly had an accident, and like they were shouting at each other, like fucking like put it this way, like if I was like right next to you and I was like yelling at you like that, it's like there's like probably some physical confrontation that's gonna happen. But these guys were like going off, and it's like they're both going off at the same thing, which is like safety, but they don't actually want to reach this point of understanding. They just want to like vent, and I don't know. I don't really trust people to have that discussion. And you know what? I'm not really willing to have that discussion with just about anyone. Like, I want it to be you or Lauda or like someone that I have that rapport with. I think that's where I'm at. Like, I feel like it's a bit of a waste of time if I can't get my say and you can't get your say. Yeah.
Yes, okay. I mean, there are certain ways to have discussions. If you want to like change someone's opinion, don't just fucking write it on a comment thread on Facebook. You're literally
Definitely.
doing nothing.
Yeah.
You're doing absolutely nothing with that comment. It's just an impulse for some people. They get emotional about some shit. Yeah.
It's an impulse. Yeah.
It's a dumb.
I have the impulse as well, man. Like,
Same.
but I try to be more aware of it. Like,
It's so interesting. Hey?
yeah.
I remember there was like this video that was just like animals being really cute to people, like I don't know, like getting them some shit from the fridge or whatever, or like a dog like that like saves a child from like falling and stuff, and like the caption over the video was like, animals are like amazing to people, and like the first comment is just like, oh yes, animals are the best. We are so lucky to have animals. They are by far the best creatures, or something. And it fucking angered me so much. I'm like, I've read that comment like 12 times. Like, animals are the best Oh, we are so lucky to have animals.
Yeah.
Firstly, what the fuck does that mean?
Yeah.
We are so. What are you? What are you?
What does that mean?
What are you? Yeah.
What the fuck does that mean? How are you adding anything?
Yeah.
What?
But why have you separated yourself from animals so much, like to the point like that they're here for our amusement or some shit? Like, what are you if not an animal? Like, why do you think you're so different? Are you a god? Are we gods? Who knows? I don't fucking know. It's just a word. It doesn't mean anything. And I got so angry, and I had like 12 responses in my head, like raring to go.
Yeah.
Like, fuck this bitch in her opinion.
Yeah.
But then I was like, she just wrote a comment because it felt nice for her.
Yeah.
Like, just let the girl. She's like a 12-year-old girl in South America or some shit. Just let her write whatever she wants.
I've had that reaction as well.
It's a weird impulse.
Yeah.
Why do we want to engage in these arguments, discussions so much?
I don't know.
Do you think it's because we're like not having discussions, like in person?
And you know why we're not having discussions in person?
Because it's all on fucking Facebook.
Exactly, man. It's like this fucking like trickery of we're spending time and hanging out together. Like, I don't know. Like, I really try to like fucking not interact there at all.
Yes.
Like, just in the fucking like virtual escape, the only interaction that I try to have is like when we're gonna get together for real life interaction.
Yes.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I try.
I love that. I've been doing the same recently as well. Just almost every day now, there's like someone coming to my house for a conversation.
Yeah.
Last night, like, it's a lot of Wendy's friends, to be honest. Like, but I'm always just like, bring them over. Like, let's just sit down. Let's just have a dinner with them. Let's just sit and have a cup of tea and just talk. And we'll talk for like 3 hours about our lives.
Yeah.
It's refreshing.
It is.
When I was living in Canberra, I didn't have that nearly as much. And I don't know, it makes you a lot more appreciative of things. It makes you more compassionate, makes you more empathetic, because you're starting to learn more about people's stories. And
I'd be down for that. Like, as much as I'm like, I don't have an opinion and blah, blah, blah. Like, if you, like, the medium is a message, right? Like, you know, the medium is a message. It's this thing that they tried to teach me in uni, and I fucking didn't understand it until, like, I listened to a podcast, and then I was like, oh, the medium of the podcast is letting the two people have a conversation that is, like, on this level of where we're at now, as opposed to if I was like, Steve, why don't you come on my podcast? I'm going to do a 5-minute interview so that we can advertise your podcast. The medium of that 5-minute interview, the message of what we're saying is going to change because we have to fit in 5 minutes.
yes.
So, you know, the medium of like being face to face with your friends for 3 hours in your house, uninterrupted by the outside world, is going to allow you to cover certain things, certain messages. And yeah, you got to put yourself in a situation that like allows you to have that. I don't know where I was going with the point, but yeah, I just had.
Thank you. No, you educated me. That's it. That's the whole. This podcast created that. I learned something. I'm gonna repeat that next time I'm having like a dinner with someone, and they're gonna be like, "Shut up, Steve." No one cares what you have to say.
Because you're having dinner with them, you gotta like strap them down, like tie them down. Like then they're gonna listen to you. Can't give them the option of food. Make sure they're finished eating. Maybe that's why I'm like, dude, come have this podcast with me, because like you have to sit. Like, you know what you're getting into. I'm not like, hey, Steve, do you want to get a coffee? And then we're going to talk about some deep shit. Like, maybe you're not going to talk about some deep shit if we're going to. But if I'm like, Steve, come for a podcast, bang. Like, you're ready.
Yeah, interesting. I love that because I feel like that when I was in Canberra, you'd give me those, like, spontaneous calls. I felt like you was, whether consciously or subconsciously, like you were analyzing the content or the depth of our discussions. Like, oh, okay. I caught Steve at this time of day and we spoke about these things. Or like, I caught Steve in this particular mood and all we talked about was work. Or like, I don't know, I felt like it's just interesting. The way that you're thinking about like...
I'm not thinking.
You're not thinking about
no,
it? I'm thinking about you the way that you're thinking about it.
I'm just calling you to like say hi and like... I had the time, so I was like, I gotta like... if I'm in the car for half an hour doing work, quote, unquote... and I can fucking make a call, yeah, I'm gonna do that. Like, that's just, I was just being efficient with my time at work. I'm getting paid to like keep updated with people's lives.
Dude, and here I was like actively searching for like, all right, I want to take it to a new level of depth for Michael today so that he feels like, oh, he's got me in my lunch break. I'm willing to go into like the detail of my psyche.
Hey, whatever. Well, like, you could have said whatever, and I would have been in. Like, just the only thing that you should have taken away was like, you're on my list of people that I want to talk to and call, and
It was appreciated. It was appreciated.
it was appreciated. Reciprocated. Yeah.
Reciprocated, yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, it's been really good moving back from Canberra now to Sydney. Life is just so much better here. It's so I've realized just how important it is to be surrounded by friends and family more than anything. You know, like you can have a nice apartment, you can have a stable job, you can be in like a new place with exciting things to do. I mean, don't put shit on Canberra. There are exciting things to do there. But it just nothing compares to being surrounded by friends and family all the time.
Yeah.
Like you feel safe, you feel secure, and you feel like you're a part of the community. Way better. To anyone that is considering a change to move closer to their mum, just do it.
Do you think? Because I remember when you first moved and you were psyched as well. Like you're like campus awesome, this and that.
Yeah.
Do you think? I don't know. Do you think it's just like you do one thing and then like you appreciate it, and then it's like because you're doing that one thing, you're now lacking in the opposite of that thing, and like now you want to do that thing and appreciate that. Like you want.
Yeah. Man, totally. I think that's natural. You always like seek the overcorrection, right? And you like you'll appreciate the things that were lacking in your previous experience.
Or do you just see the positives in no matter what situation you're in?
That's also something that I do.
Yeah.
Chronically. In people. Someone could be like stabbing me and I'd be like, he has nice eyes. Like, good on him.
Yeah, 100%. I'm right there with you.
It's bad though. It's bad. Like,
Is it?
Yeah. Do you know what? It hit me so much when like I quit a job a couple of years ago and they asked me to like write up all the things that you think could improve at the job, and I was like, I've got nothing. I'm like, dude, you've been here for 2 years and you can't think of a single thing to improve around here. And I was like, honestly, I think everyone's really great and lovely. And they're like, okay, cool. You've given us 20 things that you like about the place. Give us something that we can improve on. I was like, I don't know. And then I went away and like over time I've like thought of all sorts of things that could be improved. But it just made me realize I'm always just looking at the positive of everything all the time. It's good for my health, my mental health, but like I'm missing opportunities to improve things. You ever thought that?
No.
No?
Because I think I see the positive when I'm in the situation, and then when I'm out of the situation, I think I'm more. I think it just doesn't benefit me to not see the positive when I'm in the situation.
Yeah, okay.
Like, when I'm out of the situation, I have an opinion. When I'm in the situation, and maybe I don't even let myself, I really don't care about my own opinion when I'm in the middle of something, like, that I just need to do, I just need to solve. So when something happens, what's the positive thing? Like, I don't know. Like, I got fired from, like, my job, like, how many months ago? And, like, I was immediately, like, happy. Like, it was so good.
Yeah.
And,
yeah, it was weird. You were way too happy, man.
It was good, man. And actually, that's a bad example. Because, like, looking back, I don't really see many negative. I feel like I just got, like, the best possible deal ever. Like, so I can't really... That's a bad example. What's a good example? Fuck. Oh, like I've been sick. I've been sick for like a few weeks, and you know I couldn't go to the gym and do boxing, and like I've gotten like less fit, but because I've had extra time, like I've been able to have like a better diet. I've been able to like stay more focused on other things. Like I've been reading, you know, like I just made time for all these things. So like like I want to go to the gym and I want to stay fit and I want to get fitter, but boom, I've got all these other cool things I can do. Like, why am I, you know, there's an example.
Do you carry that same attitude with your like art? Like if you write a script, do you look at it and be like, you know what, it's great? No. Or you're more critical generally? You're actively looking for the negatives?
Yeah, I think I'm pretty critical.
Do you think it would serve you to be less critical of your work? Or more critical?
I think it would 100% serve me to be less critical, and being less critical has allowed me to improve myself more.
Yeah.
Because I'm just at this level where being critical is stopping me from improving because I am practicing less. So there's this point where it's like I've got to do more and more. Like the first few episodes of this podcast were shit. Like actually, it was all pretty shit until like the last couple episodes.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I would have never made the improvements that I needed to make if I didn't just let myself be shit. Like, let it be shit for a while.
Yes.
Like, recording quality was shit. I fucked up. Like, I fucked up recording. The recorder stuff today. But it's like, if I got everything perfect, I wouldn't... If everything was perfect, I wouldn't even be recording now because I still have this recorder that just fucking stops every now and then.
Yeah.
Like, so...
You should fix that.
Yeah, like, I should fix it. But you know what? Like, I should also just fucking let it happen until I get to a point where it's, like, not gonna happen. So, I don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I'm too shit to be that critical about my art. Yeah,
That's the thing that holds back people the most. Hey, that fear of being shit. Who gives a fuck if you're shit at something?
just admit that you're shit.
Exactly.
You are shit. Of course you're shit.
Oh,
you don't have practice. Like,
Yeah.
how could you be anything but shit?
Yeah. Yep.
It's fine. Like, you got to do it to like get better. Like, you've got to be bad at something before you can be good at something. Like,
it's why, like, I mean, as you get older, you're way less inclined to do new things because you're like, okay, well, now that I'm 30, some people have been, practicing this particular art or craft for 20 years.
Yeah.
So I'm going to look like a complete dick next to them.
100%.
So what?
100%.
Look like a dick. Just do it.
The other good thing about getting older is that you care less, actually.
Yeah?
Yeah. I find that I just care less about stuff like that.
That's good.
Right.
I'm not there yet. I still care a lot. I'm trying to overcome it.
I definitely think. Like, apparently, like, as you get older, your brain turns back into like a child's.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm looking forward to that.
and like fucking kids don't care about shit. They'll fucking touch the floor when they want. So I think as you get older, you care less, and like touching the floor is different metaphorically, but you're still doing something that people are like, oh my god, what are you doing? Like, you've seen old people fucking, like, senior citizens just do shit, and they just don't give a fuck. They'll just push in line, like, at the fucking store. They don't give a shit.
Yeah.
And that's fucking great. Like...
Kills me. I hate it. Sort your brain out, man. Do a Sudoku or some shit.
Sudoku. Motherfucker.
Does it go back incrementally? Like, when you're, like, 80, you're, like, 20. When you're 81, you're 19, 82, 18. And it's like, when you're 90, you have, like, the adolescent mind, and you're, like, sneaking away to masturbate in your bedroom and shit. Like, does it work like that?
I hope so.
Not that I ever did that. Hypothetically. I've seen movies.
Seen movies. What type of movies, Steve?
Comedic films.
Comedic.
Who's your number one director? Who do you look up to the most?
I don't know. I think I just gotta say Kevin Smith.
Is it still recording?
Yeah. Let me just check. Actually,
There's no movement on the screen, so.
I think it's okay.
Or monologue again.
Yeah, it's okay. It's recording.
I'm actually gonna have to head off fairly soon.
That's alright.
So, is there anything in particular you wanted to quiz me on?
There was actually, like, we sort of got into it like right before the podcast, and it was like the one thing that I wanted to talk to you about.
Okay.
And like, I was just gonna bring it up, and then we can just segue into like related topics.
Okay.
So what was it like eating like jats and cheese for dinner that one night? Like when you moved out and like you were in that situation of like living out of home, and run us through.
So I mean I got to a point where I was sort of like transitioning from like pursuing a musical career to pursuing a legal career, and I felt really shit about it. Like I felt like I'd let myself down. I felt really disappointed in myself, because I realized I'd just been like telling myself like that, you know, I'm good enough to be a musician. I'm like, it's what I really want to do more than anything. But it sort of occurred to me that I was just lying to myself. Like I wasn't giving my all to my music. There were so many other things I wanted to do, and if I pursued a music career, I would have been sacrificing that other part of me that really wanted to go into like the judicial system. Like I want to go into law. I want to practice law. I want to like help administer justice in society. I feel like that's really where like I'd be creating value. And so yeah, I felt like a bit of a failure, and I felt disappointed, and then I became a little bit masochistic. And I moved into a little apartment in Enmore with some mates because I was just like, I feel like I need to like challenge myself in new ways now. I need to like prove myself in other ways. I need to like find a new way to make myself interesting as well. And so yeah, I like spent pretty much all of my money apart from a bit of savings that I had in like a term deposit on like getting this place together, and I was broke as fuck relying on like government money. But then obviously like my parents were there to like assist in like dire circumstances, so I wasn't completely like destitute. But yeah, dude, just eating like jats for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Oh fuck! I thought it was just one meal that
No,
you like.
man, it was like
Fuck.
I'd wake up in the morning and I'd like have jats and Nutella, and then like maybe an apple or something, or I'd like take a handful of some like bag spinach, just for some vitamins, and then at lunchtime I'd just be like having like jats and peanut butter or something, and then dinner it's like, oh shit, I can have like jats and cheese or jats and like soup. You know, there's like little bag soups and they're on special and like $2.50 or something. I'd get like a soup and just have that.
Yeah.
That was alright. But yeah, dude, that's when my mental health was like at its worst then. Who we were talking about earlier. Just like so I didn't even realize just how bad it was until I got out of there.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, it's not normal to be like having panic attacks, man. Like it's not normal to just like have trouble breathing fucking all the time from anxiety and stress. Just yeah. So moving to Canberra was like great for me. And like now that I'm in a little house in Miranda, like got a dog, got a fiance, got all my mates around me, like man, life's good. I'm way more chill. Just going to the beach at lunchtime and stuff. Got money now. It just like don't pursue money,
Yeah.
but don't not pursue money. Hey,
Definitely.
financial stability. We talk about this a
Yeah,
lot.
we do.
Financial stability like gives you that security mentally.
Yeah. It's like you say like, oh, I didn't realize it until I left. It's like, yeah, I didn't realize my mental state either when I was like in that like financially similar situation to you. Like it's just you have this, yeah, you're like caught in it and you don't realize like, yeah, man, it's nice to have a bit of money that acts as like a buffer to the life's bullshit. Like,
Yeah.
you know, it's like, oh, your fucking car needs a $700 repair. Cool. I'm not stressed. I tap the card on the machine and you fix my problem and I don't fucking worry about it.
Yep.
Like,
That's it. You don't need to be rich, but
No.
geez, just having financial security just changes your life.
Yeah.
It really does. And I think there's a bit of like there's almost a toxic culture in a lot of like the artistic spheres.
yeah.
Where it's like, oh man, you've got money. There's no way you're gonna like feel the pain that's required to create something beautiful. Maybe there's truth to that, you know, like people who are like really broke who've done great things. But do you need to be like broke or like depressed to make good art? I don't know. Is it worth it? I think is a better question. Is it worth your mental health to create that?
I
It's
don't know,
got to
man.
be. The answer has to be yes if you're an artist. Yes.
Has to be yes. You have to, like, I don't know. Some people can take it. Like, some people, it's not like a bog on the mental health. Some people, I don't know. Like, my favorite podcast is like this comedian is telling the stories of when he was living in his car, but doing stand up comedy, and it was like the happiest.
Yeah.
Like, that's beautiful. But and yeah, like I really fucking connected with that back when I was like not living in a car, but just fucking eating potatoes, like as opposed to jats. But then the other side is that like my head is clearer now and I can do work,
Yeah.
as opposed to like stress. So I think if it works for you, then like, just you gotta like know yourself. Like I didn't know myself. I was just, which is like I was putting myself in situations so that I could know myself, and I do know myself now. But you gotta actually, and I think you put yourself in a situation as well. And I don't think it's so much for me, especially now when I have a partner. Like, if I was alone, I think I would be able to be able to handle that more. But there's like a voice in my head that's like, you're like trying to build a life with someone on some sort of level where, I don't know, you need to take a bit more responsibility. I don't know. Like I think yeah. That would have been something that I should have or would have gotten something more out of if I was younger, I think. But I think I have a bit more to hold on to in life, that it's like I can't go balls deep into one thing and just sacrifice everything for it, because I don't have just one thing. So yeah, you just gotta know yourself.
Do you think that you'd be able to create better artistic products if you were less healthy mentally?
I might have been in a better position. Oh, no. Just for being, no.
No?
No.
No.
Okay. It's just for me, it's a matter of like, let's just say I'm broke, but I don't know let's just say writing is my craft. Like, there's not much to do when you're broke, but if you have a craft, you'll do it a lot.
Yeah.
Now I'm not broke. I have a house. I have a computer, let's say. I have a computer. I have TV. I have a gym membership.
Dude, you have this place where you're living is amazing. I've never been in a little apartment with so much character.
Thank you.
I'm excited by it. Like I've been through it already, but I want to go through his room
go through
again
it
and just
again.
look at it. Like you're very well set up.
It's
Very,
honestly,
very
it
well
was,
set up.
we got really lucky. Like, I think we got a really good, first of all, like the suburb we're living in is like, you get good deals. Like,
Yeah.
not just like house-wise, but like location-wise, because Lauda can go to work like with the train line, and
It's so close.
like I'm close to like my family, and but also like we just got a good deal on this place. Like, it should have been more expensive. I think it's like there's some issues. I'll show you some mold on your way out, and I think that
Look
was
forward to
yeah. They like apparently it was falling apart from what I heard, but the thing is they fixed everything, so
Yeah.
it's not falling apart right now. Like,
Doesn't look like it.
yeah.
So much. There's just, even in this room, I don't know if there are any listeners that haven't been in here. There's like so much to absorb. It's like, it's overwhelming. Most of the time that you're talking to me, I'm just looking around at all the random shit you have in here. Like, a fucking ukulele behind you. What is that doing there? I want to play it badly.
Yeah,
Like,
no,
don't-
you should definitely play the outro. I'm
sure
gonna
it's-
put it on the table.
I'm sure it's out of tune.
It is. When you feel like playing the outro to
Is
this
that like
episode.
what is it? Is that
that's
is that a packet of cigarettes? Like, you don't smoke. What is that doing? There's a Tim Tam. There's a light bulb. It's overwhelming. Yeah. Lots of shoe boxes. There's a podcast recording checklist. A bottle of scotch. It's exciting. I'm excited.
I don't know, maybe that's like
Sorry. Went off topic. Why is there a picture of the Queen there? What is that doing?
because it's our right, man. It's our right to have a picture of the Queen. If you write to your local council member, they will supply you with a picture of the Queen.
Wait, really?
Because it's your right.
They'll provide it. They'll send it
Yeah.
out framed.
No.
No.
I thought it was framed, but they just give you the paper and you gotta frame it.
That's shit.
Yeah, and I had the frame lying around that was coincidentally the same size. But yeah, it's your right, and they will supply it. It's your right to also have recordings of the national anthem and Australian flags. So if you want any of those, write to your local council member.
Dude, I didn't know this.
Yeah.
Did you get the other stuff? Did you get the Australian flag?
Nah, fuck that. I just want the Queen.
You just want the Queen?
I just want the Queen.
That is sick. All right, I'm going to do that. I love the random shit you do, Michael. I hope that never stops.
Thank you. Thank you.
But that's good. Stay healthy and keep creating. Because that's the thing. I still have a lot of friends that are in that music industry. A lot of friends in like the punk and hardcore scene.
Yeah.
And that culture, which is where I was, is bad. Because the audience largely is people with mental health issues.
Gotcha.
That's just it. Like you are steered towards that music, or you're attracted to that music because you have mental health issues, because you feel detached from something, you feel disengaged, you're angry, you're upset, you're depressed, and you want something that makes you feel angry, that resonates with how you're feeling. So to be an artist in that sphere, you need to be able to relate to your audience. And so you become masochistic. You feel like, shit, man, like my life sucks too. I can relate to you, buy my album. And it's so bad. It's so bad. I'm worried about some of my friends there. There are some that, like, I mean, one of them is like, he's killing his band. He's fucking flying. And he seems to manage it really, really well. But there are others who do not. So, yeah, I mean, there are definitely like circles in the artistic world where like people can get really caught up in just like damaging themselves in the hope that it's going to bring something brilliant. But make sure you're asking yourself if it's worth it at all at every stage. Because
I think you've got to really enjoy the process.
Yeah. Yes.
Because if you're doing it for this thing that you're going to get, whether you get the thing or not, you're actually damaging your process. You gotta actually really you don't really have to enjoy it, but you just gotta understand that that's it, like that thing, that grind that you do, like, you know. I'm gonna just use stand-up comedy for an example, because like that podcast is like in my head like always. If you just like getting on stage and doing your stand-up, then you can do that.
Yeah.
And you're winning. But if you get on stage every day and you're like, I need this type of reaction, and I need it to be this good, and I need it to work towards my 1 hour, because when I get 1 hour, I can sell my special, and then I can make money, and then I can not be in this situation. It's like, you're like, that's the wrong. I think it's the wrong attitude, and I'm not saying that like objectively, but I'm saying like I have a feeling that it's the wrong attitude. Like I feel like that, not it's the wrong attitude because it's wrong. It's the wrong attitude because it is doing the opposite of helping you. Like you gotta. The reason you're in that hole is so that you can just do the thing that you love. So you gotta just do it, even if you don't really love it right now.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Yes, I 100%. I think it was like Matthew McConaughey or some shit that was like, that said like, try to make the process the end in itself, not the means to the end.
Yeah.
I love that. It's true. You just find a way to enjoy the process. Yeah, and then you'll see where you end up. Who cares if it's not where you envisioned yourself ending up, but like you'll have done some cool shit and you'll have enjoyed every day doing what you want to do. So yeah. Look, keep at it, Michael. Make me some films. You missed my monologue, but the theme of it was very much like I'm excited I'm excited about your life.
I hope I don't disappoint. There's the pressure.
There's no pressure.
There's no pressure. I don't know. I just don't know what to say. Like, I'm genuinely thankful, and like I don't know what to say. That's really the truth.
Good. Does my praise make you uncomfortable?
A little bit. Yeah.
You're probably the greatest artist, creator of artistic work across all forms that I know.
Fuck, man. I know the Banoses know a lot of people.
Yeah, okay. You've got a good mind for it.
And also, you know your cousin, so just fucking gonna rub that in his face. See what I said?
Just record it. Yeah, just send that to him.
I'll send that to him. Anytime he tries to like be like, I think we should do this instead of your idea, Michael. Just be like, let's go to this podcast. Steve has some fucking opinion that you need to hear.
Sorry,
I
cousin.
don't know. I'm just deflecting. I'm deflecting with humor because I'm like uncomfortable.
Yeah, I know.
Thank you very much.
I can keep offering praise because it's enjoyable for me to watch you get uncomfortable.
Well, we should do this more often.
Yeah, we should, man. We really should. Thank you for having me on here.
Thank you for coming on
I do
here.
have to go. I feel obliged to play this
You should.
little thing. We'll see if it's in. Oh yeah, it's very out of tune, isn't it? Oh, none of the strings are.
Beautiful.
Well, next time we'll have it tuned. And,
Will we?
it'll work well. Probably not. No.